All right, so let's answer example 9. A student takes a 10-question true-false exam. We want to first find the probability the student gets exactly 6 of the questions right, simply by guessing the answer on every question. And then secondly, we want to find the probability that the student will obtain a passing grade of 60% or greater, simply by guessing. Okay, so first, let's deal with question 1. Let's notice that we have 10 trials, and this is a true-false exam, so there's a 50% chance of getting it right by guessing. So our probability is 0.5, and we want exactly 6 right, so x is 6. Let's use, instead of the chart, let's use Excel to find this answer, and you're going to want to use Excel on your exam, so it's a perfect place to practice right now. All right, so I'm going to type in equal binom dot dist, and I need to put in the number s. We were interested in 6 being right. The trials were 10 of them, 10 questions, and the probability of getting them right with a guess was 0.5. And we always want to type the number true. And it tells us this answer is 0.828125. Now, this is the same thing we would have gotten from the chart, just with a little more decimals. This is the probability that x is less than or equal to 6. We want the probability that x is exactly 6. So we also need to find the probability that x is less than or equal to 5 and subtract these two probabilities, just like we did with the table. So I'm going to again type equal binom.dist. This time I want to put 5 for my number, 10 trials, 0.5 is still the probability, and true. So that's the probability that x is less than or equal to 5. So to get the probability that x is exactly 6, we're just going to subtract those two values. So the probability x is less than or equal to 6 minus the probability that x is less than or equal to 5, and we end up getting this ends up being 0.171875. All right, now for question 2, let me go back for a minute. We want to find the probability that the student will obtain a passing grade of 60% or greater simply by guessing. Okay, so the student wants 60%, 70%, 80%, anything over 60. All right, but let's go back to our Excel. We've already got the probability that x is less than or equal to 60, but let's realize that 60 is also part of our score. So we got the probability that x is less than or equal to 50 right here. We really want the probability that x is greater than or equal to 60, or greater than or equal to 6. To get that, that's really 1 minus the probability, that x is less than or equal to 5. Okay, so it's everything but those that are less than 5. So in this case, we're just going to do 1 minus the 0.623047 that we had for the probability that x is less than or equal to 5. And we get 0.376953. And there we go. And this would be the same thing that we got in our table, just to a greater number of decimal places.